So by way of introduction, from right to left, we have Serenia Diom, Group Head of Mobile Financial Services for MTN Group. And so, Dare, the price I pay for screwing up your last name is to ask you the first question. Right?
It's okay.
So, in the context of these landscape in Africa in particular, and can you just give us some examples of these innovations that you're seeing?
Sure. Thanks very much. I think it's pretty clear to every assumption of mobile money. There is an underlying assumption that these things are being built on the store of value that mobile monies are. And we have now largely researched is how much business in general is adopting this, from large corporate to small, medium businesses. I think we're seeing a trend of embedding mobile money payments into the operations and the transactions that businesses do. And whether this is provided directly by mobile networks or fintech companies like us or banks.
Phrase it is, you are seeing that. You are seeing varieties of institutions actually taking up the mobile technology in particular.
Absolutely, and I think it's the confluence of two hard trends. Behind the burst and the stabilization of internet, like the dot-com era. And one lesson I took from that is
Bitcoin was overhyped at one point, and we've all seen the trend. And I think obviously there's a lot of talk around blockchain, but it does have its value. Mm-hmm. Unique mobile subscribers and over 250 million connected to the internet. And that empowerment continues today with fintechs, further empowering that digital base to access financial technology, to access financial services. Alternative lending, you don't have to wait for a credit scoring company to say you're worthy of credit before you can get access to a credit line or to installment payments like we've seen Safaricom do with Fuliza in Kenya and a number of other solutions, that players are, enabling. And with simpler ways to pay and participate in global commerce. And that is pay anywhere, everywhere, in-store, online, face-to-face, empowering people. And I think from our perspective as Visa, that's why I mentioned the blockchain thing earlier, we believe in it. And our mission is to empower the fintechs that want to continue to empower those consumers. When I say fintechs, I mean even more broadly, the digital financial services and mobile financial services groups of telcos as well, because I think everyone knows that those could be standalone. It's over 3 billion accounts, over 53 billion merchants, 200 countries with regulatory compliance to help fintech scale globally.
So in that reality, what are we overhyping?
In that reality, I think what we're overhyping is, we talked about Bitcoin, right? I mean, that is definitely overhyped here. But blockchain, yes, there is a lot of noise about it today, but there is future in it. Mm-hmm. And we're deploying blockchain ourselves, using it for B2B payments, because the corresponding banking business, as far as moving money cross border, is just really
SDKs, and we specified it for them, and we worked with them, and to create a new channel for our customers. Right? So then that is, no one knows about that. Yeah. But for me, if today MTN we moved from that time 2-3 million active customers to today, that for example 10 years ago, no one knew about sending money from your wallet to another wallet in between. MTN was not in Burkina Faso, and we needed also to educate the regulator, to go and sell it to the regulator for that to be done. So 2 months ago, and do perform mobile money transactions within the conversation, which is you just talk to a bot. That means that you use AI channel that people are using today to do your transactions. So these are a couple of them. Also,
what's really interesting about your responses is one, the history lesson, right? And so you're really looking back to see what the future might look like, and that context. I love the idea of the underhyped, but also what struck me about it was the increment certain technologies to make that even easier. But just back to you, CEMEA, from MTN's perspective, as we go further into the future and more.
So I think even So let me answer first to the second question, which is why we think that customers will still join us. So today, if you take the penetration of mobile money across our GSM base or across Africa, so that means that we still have 60. And when I'm talking about 40, is where mobile money has been very successful. So that means that there is money for basic services. And more we are developing advanced services. So by advanced services, I mean people can get is really to become a platform of choice, transactional platform of choice, to make sure that customers, whatever they need, they can get access to it through mobile money. And if we come back to MTN's ambition, which is to become the biggest fintech player in Africa by 2021, we announced our results end of last year. We had 27 million to really very fast, to stay very fast. And the second one is really to become a platform. So that become first of all the transactional place of choice for customers, and also to make sure that we are open enough for become a platform where people will be.
We can address that with you guys as well, right? Because it's the question of what does that look like? What does the future, where are the big bets? Because that's the question I'm about to ask you, Otto. Where is Visa betting? It's clear where MTN is placing its bets, and it's great to see.
We've done a number of investments, including roundups that tokenizes credentials, all types of credentials, including mobile phone numbers. So it's not just about the 16-digit PAN anymore. It's not about plastic, it's digital. Digital first, digital world, and that's the infrastructure that we're building. And I think Serene used the key word here. We're betting on collaboration. That's exactly what it is. That's the secret to success. And I'll give you a couple of quick examples. We've done it across the board. In India, we did it, frankly, in collaboration with MasterCard and the government. We contributed the M-Visa QR code, collaborated with banks in market to build a consortium using our Visa Direct platform to move money in real time called Zelle. And really enabled the micro merchants. It's that farmer's market merchant that could only accepted cash. And they're one of the largest. Last year, they did 85 billion in gross merchandise volume. I mean, that's the sort of collaboration we're talking about. I think Serena's mentioned our collaboration with MTN. We've collaborated with Orange, with Singtel, with Halotel, and with a number of partners, Singtel, and a number more. So yes, that's what we're placing our bet on. It is collaboration, and we do also believe in the future and future technologies that will help leapfrog legacy infrastructure and create, nimble solutions for our partners and our ecosystem.
And it can go a very wide, which is an entire country can be blacklisted from dollar clearing based on AML issues, on combating terrorism issues. That's real because the consequence of fundamental human rights. And we cannot, in the name of protection, deny access. So it's about where do we strike the balance. And we have to recognize as participants into this ecosystem, as collaborators.
And what we would have to do is, before Apple Pay or Google Pay can launch in any market, we would actually have to go and meet with the regulator in partnership with these players and explain the entire infrastructure to them. This is how tokens work, this is the security framework that we bring to it, this is how we enable this use case, and this is how the partners will actually deploy. You have to get the regulators comfortable. We do this in over 200 countries, and we see it every day. And that partnership is important. We also see regulators are adjusting. They're relaxing rules, they're creating sandboxes. They want to enable a thriving fintech ecosystem because they believe it drives financial inclusion, which is good for their citizens. At the same time, they can't compromise security, fraud, AML, money laundering, terrorist financing and all the other stuff, the bad stuff that we all want to keep out. So I think the educational piece is important. We do this all day long, and my advice to our fintech friends would be, again, you have to partner, you have to collaborate, you have to work with, again, going back to legacy partnerships on how to engage these regulators and the sort of messaging that we need to bring to them to make them understand that solutions are going to be safe, sound, and reliable.
So this is brilliant, and you brought up a point about sort of multiple markets. I mean, MTN, Pan-African country. How do you see yourselves contributing to building trust with regulators across so many markets? Right? And I think this is the most empathy with regulators that I've ever heard on a panel. But it really, I mean, this idea of, together we go far, right? We keep saying this, you guys started it. I mean, it can't just be your partnerships and your partnerships. We've got a minute and 25, 24, 23 seconds left. If there's any questions, burning questions from the audience, we've got time for maybe one or two.
They are doing a great job towards ensuring that access to fintech platforms reach to everybody. My question lies around, again, to refugees or displaced individuals. I understand that currently before you access any fintech platform, let's say MTN Momo or Visa, there are KYC regulations that companies are required to abide by regulators. You need to prove by showing them a national ID card or a passport in order to register. Now, the challenge with displaced people like refugees is that mostly when they move from country to country, they do not have passports, they do not have national ID cards, and still in their countries, their host countries, they need to access these services. Now, how do you think regulators could go about making KYC regulations a bit flexible so that these groups of displaced individuals like refugees could also access such services in the absence of refugee, in the absence of national identification cards or passports?
The regulations say know your customer. Yeah. So you can interpret and how do you actually get to know your customer. So the shortcut for it is to ask for ID or to ask for driver license and so on, but that's actually not the requirement. And we can talk more about it offline, but there is a project that NFS Africa is doing with FSD Africa to address that very problem here in
approved by government, so there's plenty of examples for that. But time is up. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'd like to ask all of you to give the panel and our previous
my name is Otto Williams. I head strategic partnerships, fintech, and ventures for. Yeah. Okay.
You can continue.
Okay. Yeah.
He knows.
Thank you very much. My name is Otto Williams. I head strategic partnerships, fintech, and ventures for Visa, CEMEA region, and so that's Central and Eastern Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And I mean, look, we're here in Kigali for the GSMA conference, and it's exciting to be here and just see the energy, in the room and at this conference with mobile network operators who have spent many decades empowering consumers, with digital mobile devices and connectivity. And Visa continues to build on that empowerment. And we know that fintechs are doing that in the space, bringing alternative lending to consumers, driving seamless consumer payments, whether in-store, online, anywhere and everywhere. And especially here in Rwanda, we're excited because it's a startup heavy community. It's a startup heavy market, and Visa is excited about our partnership here in market to continue to bring assets and capabilities to the startups here to build great consumer experiences and great merchant solutions. And in fact, the way that I view, Rwanda and Kigali is that these startups will be able to consume the solutions and the assets that we have to offer off of our global network and export these solutions to the broader SSA region as well. And so it's a great opportunity and good partnerships that we have with our mobile network operators across Orange, MTN, Singtel, and a number of others. And we want to continue to build on that, and that is why we're bringing programs to the market to drive these initiatives. Well, the reason why we're here is for the conference and to continue to deepen these partnerships. And so what we've recently done also is launch a FinTech Fast Track program across the Sub-Saharan Africa market and broadly across our CEMEA market. So this is a global program that allows fintechs and startups to connect to Visa a lot more seamlessly, whether they want to obtain a Visa license, to distribute credentials, a lot easier. Whether they want to access Visa APIs to drive great solutions and to build them, much easier and much more streamlined. And so the FinTech Fast Track program is live. We encourage all fintechs to go on our website and enroll for it and be part of this program. We have a number of fintechs that are already taking advantage of it.
Apart from the fintechs reaching to your website and finding the information, what are the other ways you use to reach out to the fintechs?
That's a great question. Part of what we also do is we're in partnerships with various incubators and accelerators throughout the region, because we know fintechs are there, be receiving the support that they need. And so we partner with these accelerators and incubators and bring Visa solutions to these fintechs through those partnerships too. What we're also doing is our Visa Everywhere initiative. So that is an initiative, a program that we run, and we've run here across CEMEA and in Africa to find fintechs that are building compelling solutions, and so that we can bring them and introduce them to our ecosystem and also give them resources to help them grow and expand. We've had winners come out of Kenya. We've run our Global Women Edition that had a winner come out of Cameroon. And we're also running an inclusive FinTech 50 program with MetLife. And that finds 50 fintechs that are really solving needs of the underserved. And so, a number of programs across the board, and that is, again, because we are committed to this effort, and we're dedicated to ensuring that consumers are empowered, and the fintechs that are driving these experiences are empowered as well in doing so.
Specifically for Rwanda, this newly launched program, can you give us some details?
Yeah, absolutely. So this would be on visa.com. You can find out more about the FinTech Fast Track program. And what you can also do is reach out to our Visa teams here in Rwanda and, meet with them. We would be happy to also meet with you, and just send us an email. We want to know what you're doing. In fact, when you go on the website, you'll be able to submit your solution. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, and we'll be in touch and want to know more and make sure that you have access to these programs. And so this is very accessible online for any startup or any fintech that's based here in Rwanda.
So how do you define startups for this program, and who is eligible?
Frankly, the way we take a very simple approach to that, and that is, if you believe that you're building truly compelling consumer solutions, you have a compelling value proposition, we want to talk to you. Simple. If you have a compelling value proposition for consumers and for merchants, we want to talk to you, and we're interested in having a conversation.
How can mobile payments play a role in expanding the acceptance of food and footwear making?
Oh, I think that's mobile payments are going to be very critical to expanding acceptance footprint, and we see it, and in a number of ways. And I'll just give an example of a couple of use cases. QR payments, for example. I mean, where a merchant can take their mobile device, display a QR code, and you scan that and make a payment. That's transformative, because that merchant does not have to purchase an expensive acceptance device in order to be able to accept electronic payments. Or when a consumer can tap their phone to pay in a market or in various environments where NFC is enabled, that's transformative as well, because it creates a great experience for the consumer. Or what we're seeing is where consumers are also able to make voice payments or pay by sending text messages also. Again, these are transformative. And so what we're really seeing is the connected consumer that is able to authenticate a transaction, which reduces transaction risk off of their device, either by biometric, PIN, or whatever modes are enabled, or actually make a payment directly with a merchant who is actually enabled via their mobile device to accept transactions. And we're bringing technologies to market that allow more of that, specifically where you can tap your phone to another phone and make a payment via what we call tap to phone. And so again, we're expanding and we're innovating around a number of use cases there.
Let's again go to the market, the Rwandan market. We just see the programs and the policies of the government and making sure that they're improving the do you harmonize the visa way of doing things with these policies?
I think it's important to make sure that we are in conversations with the government, and we are. And what we want to drive there are standards. We think that standards are important, and I'll give a clear example where we've done that in India. We brought visa specifications and visa standards to the Indian government, and they created Bharat QR. Bharat QR is a standard QR code that works for a number of networks, and that's important. That's key. It's not just a visa thing; it's a standard. So that way, here in Rwanda, what you don't want is a merchant to have to display 7 different QR codes from 7 different players. And so that is the partnership with governments that's important. That's the partnership that we will continue to drive, is creating standards with the government to make sure that there isn't, unintended consequences are not produced around various payment initiatives.
We appreciate, unless you have something you think should broadcast.
No, this was great. Thanks for having me, and good conversation. Yeah.